Hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the chilihead community, by the chilihead community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, we have an amazing episode here tonight. We have the return of a very fun and great guest and good friend of mine, as well as going to be diving into one product here on tonight's episode. So, episode 117 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for being here, making this show what it is. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of hot. This is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. Up on tonight's episode, we are getting ready for the 4th of July, and of course, we're going to be talking about grilling and all kinds of fun things. What better way than to have one product on Hot or Not tonight from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce? It is the Ghostly Kiss. So we're going to be talking about how you can ramp up your barbecuing and grilling with some Ghostly Kiss from Chico Blanco on Hot or Not, as well as the return of Brandon Wright, Mr. Chico Blanco Hot Sauce himself. And we're going to be discussing, basically everything that he's been able to accomplish since the last time that he was on, as well as getting to know him a little bit more and having a little bit of fun. So, let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to Hot or Not. Welcome on into Hot or Not. As always, the new rundown here for Hot or Not is while you're on the podcast, you're going to get that brief, quick hit breakdown of the overall product. You can check out the full review unedited over on Scorchin' and Swearin', but this is where you get the quick hit as well as the official scorecard. So up tonight, we're going to be diving on into Chico Blanco Ghostly Kiss. And I don't do everything, with a 1 to 10 scale. I do 1 out of 5 based off of 5 categories: heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, burn. Add those up, average them out, gives us our total swear word rating. And I do not like to read the ingredients first. I like to let my taste buds do the exploration. But let's go ahead and get this one kicked off. This one is from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. This is Ghostly Kiss. Great overall labeling. Get that seal tossed off to the side. I'm going to open up the pour side instead of the sprinkle. There we go. Nice heaping tablespoon. Let's see what the aroma's like. Got to be careful since it is a rub to not inhale too much, otherwise it'll go straight up the nostrils. A nice overall kind of a smoky note, a little bit of what smells like a little bit sweetness, a nice little zesty pop, and you're definitely picking up the notes of the peppers. Cheers. Citrus right off the bat. Definitely tastes like lemon, some sweetness going on there. That is tasty. I mean, that tastes like onion, maybe some garlic. Got the lemon, definitely some kind of a sugar. There's a smoky note. Tell if that's chipotle or what that is. The ghost note is just, it is very indicative of its name. Ghostly Kiss. It is just a little faint kiss in the overall flavor profile at the end of this, and you really start to feel it, feeling a little bit on the tongue and the gums and the roof of the mouth as far as heat is concerned, but nothing too crazy. Is more of a delayed after effect, more of that ghost build and heat start to rise. But man, oh man, is that beautiful flavor that carried throughout the whole way. A nice lemon pepper, a nice little carry through of some garlic, singing note of sweetness throughout there. Balance of savory, sweet, and heat all throughout this spice rub. You can see why Ghostly Kiss is winning awards. If you're just starting out, the great thing about powders, rubs, seasonings, you control how much of an overall kick or pop that you're going to receive from this. So using a little bit, finding where you're comfortable, adding a little bit more, and then kind of doing that whole dance. If you're just starting out, you're working on your own personal best, you're constantly pushing yourself, this is going to be a nice medium heat spice rub for you all day long. I can see this going great with burgers, chicken, tacos, pizzas, in salads. I could see sprinkling this on in there. Putting this on the rim of, say, a spicy adult beverage is going to be great. Ingredients are sugar, lemon pepper, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, ghost pepper powder, chipotle powder, and then salt. Heat coming in at 2.95, aroma of 3.98, flavor of 4.44, versatility of a 4, burn of a 3.5 for a total swear word rating of 3.78. There we go. Absolutely amazing. If you want to head on over and check this product out, I will have the direct link down below, as well as a link to the main site so you can check out the full lineup of amazing products from Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
Good. How's it going, Brandon?
Man, I am doing good. You know, it's great to have you back on. Obviously, your name has been dropped quite a bit since you've been on for people that, you know, have been nominating you both on the show as well as in the DMs afterwards as someone that they thought of. And so glad to have you back on. Obviously, good friends, dive into, you know, some little fun things, maybe more life type of stuff, as well as, you know, everything that you got going on. So super excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you, man. It's great to be back.
Well, you know, ultimately the main thing here is I want to first take a moment and highlight the amazing run that you had at Zest Fest. You were just absolutely on fire. What was that? The grand total of awards won at Zest Fest, how many was that?
Well, got 3 ribbons. I got them here. So ended up taking home 3 ribbon awards. So we got 2 second place awards here, and this was the ribbon for the overall best product. And then we got the 3 back here. So all in all, we got 3 ribbons and 3 trophies.
Very nice. The big trophy there, is that the overall trophy?
Yep. So that is the Spicy Food Productions Fiery Food Challenge Best Overall Product. Let's see if we can get that there.
Nice. Absolutely amazing.
That's like the big one.
Yeah.
I was not expecting any of these, if I'm being honest, but it was just crazy and exciting. And you were actually sending me updates along the way because it wasn't like really. If it was live somewhere, I wasn't watching it, so just waiting for your messages to come in from you and a couple other friends. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
very shocking.
It definitely caught me off guard because I was sitting there at the dinner talking to those that were there, you know, and just, you know, having a good time. And all of a sudden I heard Chico Blanco, not like as the thing was rolling through, and I was like, wait, where's Brandon's not here? Where is he? And then, you know, another and another. And then finally at the very end, I was like, all right, this last award, I thought I knew which way it was going. And then absolutely out of left field. Man, that was awesome.
Yeah, I honestly was not expecting any of that. I was kind of on the fence at first of even submitting. But, you know, of course I had all my supporters and fans and friends that are like, nah, man, you need to submit. And I'm glad I listened to them. So I was like, all right. So I ended up putting in for Taco Villain, Taco Hero, Ghostly Kiss, and then the label design from Sandwich Hero, and ended up taking home, 6 awards. It was really unexpected and crazy, but I'm glad, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, who the heck is that guy? Like, because I'm still such a small guy, you know. They're like, who the heck's this Chico Blanco? But that was great. I heard it was a great turnout, a great experience.
Yep. Yeah, there was a handful of us that were sitting there just clapping it out and cheering, obviously knowing that you weren't there to, you know, grab the award yourself, but still trying to cheer on and represent and let everyone know that was there, you know, that it's not just completely dialed in. You actually know your products and you're sending these on over. It seems like a smart strategy as well. If it's an event, and maybe this is more commonplace than I have thought, but to be able to essentially mail in your products for these events to participate, because, you know, not always are you going to be able to make it out physically to an event, let alone every single one, but it would be a heck of a lot easier, I would think, to be able to mail out, those products to different venues and see and test the overall feedback for your products.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a super easy, streamlined process. They give you a certain date that they have to get it by. So I even sent mine out probably like a month and a half before the event even started. So they already had it on hand, ready to go. If there's any issues, you could get it tucked away before. But yeah, definitely would have wished to be there in person. Of course, that would have been awesome. But life happens.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. It's very unfortunately the overall turnout for Zestfest this year was drastically down. But not to
Really?
say that
Wow.
that's always how it's going to be. It's just it was a very unfortunate thing this year. It was still decent, don't get me wrong, but nothing to the same tune that it's been the past few years. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the last couple ones that you've been to was a kind of
oh yeah,
bigger showing.
much bigger this year. The overall vendor active, in the space vendors, was probably close to a 50-50 spread, if I'm being
Oh wow.
honest on it. So, yeah, I actually I might say 60-40. There was probably 60% there that were, of the actual space, and 40% that didn't really have much to do with the space as a whole. So
Man,
yeah, I mean it's pretty interesting how that pans out, but
dang. Yeah, and they didn't have a like comp or anything that I'm aware of, right? Like a pepper comp or anything like that.
no, I mean they
Because
always
I think in
have
the past they
their
have though, right?
they always have their jalapeno eating contest,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
those things are like they typically roll those out there, so they're pretty monstrous. Pucker Butt typically puts that one on. And
Okay.
then this year they had a wing competition, which I will applaud them for this. They didn't do so the year before they did Buffalo Bros, which is a chain that's not too far from the venue, and no shade to Buffalo Bros. They have great overall boneless wings, which is what they served last year. But the heat is where it was really lacking. As to where
Mm-hmm.
this year they did wings in house, they were bone in, and they were also done with like a whole slew of different wing hot sauces to make the wing sauce. So I
Okay.
applaud them for that. And then that final round, they went harder with the sauce at the end. I think they did, if I remember correct, it was the Reaper Squeezins with the little extra oomph to it, and then I think there was God, what is that? Gator sauce. I think maybe it was the other one that they put
Mm,
on, something like
okay.
that. They were gonna put some sludge in the mix, but held off on that. I ended up eating the wings later. They were extremely tasty, and they definitely had some nice heat. Way different than last year. So yeah, no, I applaud them for upping that game. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool if they do that. Definitely going to try to make it out. I would love to go. Hopefully, I can plan out. Maybe go to Zestfest next year. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
yeah,
Go in
no,
person.
definitely would be super cool. There's obviously this year I've kind of heard some things going on. So this year there's North Texas Hot Sauce Fest. Now that is exclusively at this point just two Texas hot sauce
Mm,
companies, or yeah, it's really Texas hot sauce companies. But um, you know, whole stand by on that, because
yeah.
I've kind of heard some potential talkings of maybe
Oh,
opening that one up,
opening it up. That'd be
and
cool.
that event has been an absolute blast, and it's super fun. It's one day, and it is it's a great group of folks. I
Mm,
think last or this year, I think they're on track to have 38 or so hot sauce vendors right now that have signed up, and this event goes in October. And it's sad to say, but I think that's actually more, I can say, than
really?
what was at Zestfest this year. So,
Wow.
that part's nice for North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, and definitely looking forward to it. Plus, it's an open outdoor market, like open air outdoor market type of a vibe. A lot more rowdy. This last year there was a amateur pepper competition that Goot put on, and I was helping co MC, if you want to say, for
Okay.
that. So that was a lot of fun. And then I think he announced he's doing it again this year. I'm not 100% on that though.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So if that ever
Ain't
opens
nothing
up,
like
that's one I
oh,
would say worth checking out.
definitely attend. Yeah, well, even if I can't vend or show up for Chico Blanco, I would still just love to go just experience that one too. That sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So that this year, for anyone that's watching and listening, that is October 18th, if I'm correct. I will have it updated on the screen if that is incorrect. But yeah, ultimately a great time there. But yeah, so I mean, obviously you've been hard at work. You're crushing it. You got an update to the website since the last time you've been on. You also now have a few new products that are featured on your website as well since the last time you've been on. So I guess what's been going on behind the scenes? What have you been working on?
Honestly, right now the main focus has just been the Ghostly Kiss Rub, getting that out there to people, to consumers, have everybody trying it, and Sandwich Hero coming soon. And then as far as the website and adding some more products, I just wanted to, like, the Mikey V's, the Gator Toes, and the Chamoy Pickles. Got some merch, of course, but just trying to add more of a selection
Yeah.
because, you know, with my Etsy and my website here, once you hit the $35 mark, you get a discount. So just trying to make it easier so you don't have to buy just $35 worth of hot sauce. I want to, of course, expand on that. Get you some rub, a little snack. Make it a little more easier for the consumer.
Yeah, and you got a nice overall spread, as we've kind of hit on before, of offerings for depending on where your heat tolerance is at, really anything to kind of fit that need.
Right.
Obviously, Taco Villain being the hard hitting sauce right now that you have, and then Ghostly Kiss is definitely got some nice heat to it as well as amazing flavor. So perfect
Yeah.
grilling, barbecuing companion there, as well as don't let that one be slept on in the realm of like dusting on a salad to spice it up,
Oh
dusting
yeah.
on to your burgers, your sandwiches, and really bringing them to life. So
100%.
absolutely love it, and love what's going on there. You know, as you've seen some continued growth, both I guess really in the sales aspect of this all. What have what has your overall focus been? Are you now thinking? Um, are you able to ramp up your overall production, or are you thinking of adding to the offerings here soon?
Definitely adding on to the offerings. I think right now, as far as like the amount have of like Taco Villain and Taco Hero, it's been pretty good. Like you said, sales have been ramping up a little bit as we continue to grow. But my main focus is getting out more products. I think right now
Yeah,
because we do have good bangers, and each one has had an award of some sort now that I could say. So obviously the judges saw something in it; they liked it as well. It's kind of scary if you think about it, though, because now going forward, people are going to be expecting that kind of product to come out of Chico Blanco.
yep, yep,
So definitely, my biggest thing too right now is just research and development. I think that's a huge, huge part of it. You know, always testing out stuff, always making tweaks. That's why it does take a while to get out these new products, but that's because there's a lot of R&D on the back end. I want to make sure it's just the way I want it.
absolutely. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And as you continue down this path of the creative process and really being able to you know, unravel these new products as you go through it. Do you find that it is? I mean, I know we kind of touched on this before, but are you still finding that it's a little bit of an overall influence in the cuisine as far as your inspiration for the products?
I would definitely, I would say so. That's where a lot of like the inspiration for these sauces come out for me, in particular, personally, is like if I'm having a meal of some sort. I'm always thinking like, if I were to have like a sauce to go with this, what kind of sauce would I want to like enhance the experience? And I don't know if a lot of other producers have that same kind of aspect or look on it. They're more focusing on the sauce and what it could be added to. I'm kind of doing the opposite where I'm trying different meals and I'm like, what sauce would pair with this? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I have just different aspect or way of going about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think that the way that you've been approaching it is obviously, as the awards have been showing as well, it's done in the right way, the right manner, and you're having great success. So definitely keep that up. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, no, I mean,
I mean, the
you
biggest
live.
shock for me, honestly, was the ghostly kiss. That one, I was really not expecting because it is in Texas.
Yep.
The probably the biggest rub place in the whole world.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one really that excited me because this one was one of the ones I talked about on the last time that I just came up with one day. Just did a couple slight tweaks, and I was just like, "This doesn't need anything else. Like, I'm happy with it." And so I was really shocked. I mean, took home the second place for the rub beef category for that. So second place in Texas, I'll take that.
Yep, yep. No, definitely. It has tons of flavor and like I said, very nice heat. And it's the great thing about seasonings or rubs in general, any kind of pepper blend of powders or, straight pepper powder. The beauty of it is it's one of those products that you control how intense that overall heat is going to be by
Yeah.
based on how much you're adding. I was actually talking to someone else about this not too long ago, and it's like while you can kind of do that with sauce, you can't really make the sauce dialed down like you can with say just a light dusting, right? The
Right.
sauce is just the sauce, and like your only variable is the amount of which you're taking in on each bite. Um,
Hmm.
it sounds similar, but it's not. It doesn't quite translate the same.
Right.
On
Yeah.
paper,
Yeah.
it sounds the same. You apply it to food, and it's definitely a different outcome that you're going to experience.
100%. Yeah. Especially with the rub too. It's a great point because some people when when I have these vendor events and I'm letting people try it. Some people the overall is like it's fine, but there's a few people like I think that might be too hot for me. But like you said, it's all about you're going to control that though because with the rub you can kind of think of it almost like the spiciness as like salt, right? So if you sit there, you go over the thing real slow, go over the whole thing, shake it on there, it's gonna be super salty compared to if you just kind of lightly do a dance of it. So it's the same thing with the rub. Like I remember not too long ago, my brother-in-law, he's he's only in middle school, right? And he's not huge on heat or anything. And I ended up putting some of the ghostly kiss on the ribs, and then we were kind of considered we're like, well, that might be too hot for him. But then after trying it and adding the sauce on it, because most of the time people are going to add sauce on top of it as well,
Yep.
it really helps cover up the heat aspect of it, but it still brings the flavor. So we were actually shocked, and we're like, oh no, and he loved it. So
Nice, nice.
but yeah, you could kind of like you said, you could control it. You could do your sauce, and then add some more on top if it's just enough. But love that
Heck
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice way to be able to blend both the sauce and the rubs together, as well as being able to control every step of the way. Something you had
Hmm.
mentioned as far as the markets, and have you been, I guess, really getting plugged into a lot more of the local markets around you, or how has that scene been for you?
I've been trying to whenever I can. It's just really hard right now with the schedule because I'm still working full time. But when I can and time allows, I'm definitely, yeah, that's my biggest thing, because that's just another key aspect to slowly growing up the following and introducing more people to our products. But yeah, I went to, of course, the Fiery Food Show. I think I was about to go last time we had the last podcast, was right before that. So I went to the Fiery Food Show, and then I've done about like three other small local vendor events, and that's helped get my name out to more of the locals as well, some of the products. But yeah, anyone that I could sign up for that I'm available for, I've been trying. There was actually a really big one that I was supposed to go to, and I'm kind of bummed out because it ended up getting canceled because of the weather, and then they had to
Oh,
reschedule it, and I couldn't make the rescheduled one. So that was a bummer. That one would have been maybe even bigger than Fiery Food Show as far as sales and stuff. So I was kind of bummed out not getting my name out there, but that's just going to be the name of the game going forward, is just going to as many as I can. And next year, I definitely want to try to even hit more.
yeah. No, I can see that working in your favor, and being able to to touch back on what we had initially talked about, being able to get your products to different venues, events around the area, around the United States, really. Not only will help with the brand exposure, but also help stack and solidify for whenever you do, end up pushing out to those markets, or to people that may not be familiar with Chico Blanco, and really finding out, the awards, the battles won, if you will,
Yeah.
behind each product. And yeah, it'll be. I think that'll be super cool to see, and an overall great impact that will end up transpiring from that. As far as your family support, I know that you work a lot right now, and you're doing this, when you have the time. Now, it's a huge thing to ask upon your own family, but how's the overall, support, engagement, pull together, if you will, from the family?
Oh, it's great. Everybody's just super happy for me. Just always showing their love and support. My sent my uncle a hat with his order. He placed an order, sent him a hat with it, and he's sent me pictures. They're out on vacation on the roller coaster. He's like, rocking your hat, man. Like,
Nice.
but yeah, my family, they love putting in orders too. My mom's like, well, I want to put an order for this person and that person. I want this person to try it. Let me get some. So yeah, no, we have huge support from the family, friends, and a lot of the locals. And now, of course, because of Zest Fest and just some of the other stuff, just getting my name out there from doing some League of Fire as well. I've sponsored a few League of Fire events now. So now I'm starting to see orders come in from a lot of different states that I haven't seen before, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we're slowly growing, and I think I'm almost at like 1K on Facebook now for followers. So, woo,
Nice. There we go. I like
slowly
it.
but surely. And I've also been. I think the biggest thing too is I still want to get my name more out there locally. So I actually sat down and spoke with the GM for the hockey team that's coming here.
Oh,
They haven't
nice.
started yet, but we're gonna have a pro hockey team that'll be officially started up hopefully next year. But yeah, I've already kind of made that connection. Been talking to him, and then also our local baseball place. Need to reach back out to them, but they had an idea for like marketing ideas and stuff that we could kind of collaborate on. So I think that'll be really good for Chico Blanco going forward. And then we
Absolutely.
do have a small farmers market that's about to start up here soon. But looking at my work schedule, I don't know if it'll be doable for me, but trying any way I can.
Yeah, yeah. The hockey team aspect sounds super cool and interesting. I know the Stanky Brothers
Yep,
have
thank you,
a plug.
brothers.
They're plugged in a local hockey team with near them, and have
Hmm.
great success with having their. It's the solar. Why am I missing?
I
Blanking
think
on the
it's
name.
the Solar
Solar
Bears, is
Flare,
it?
Solar Bear, Solar
Solar
Flare
Flare, Solar
sauce, something
Bears.
like that.
I know their mascot's a polar bear.
Yeah, yeah. I can picture the logo. I just can't fully recall the name. I know it's Solar something. But yeah, no, they. they always seem to have a great time with that. So I can only
Oh yeah,
imagine how fun that would be, let alone getting plugged in with such a new organization like that from the ground
right,
up.
right.
Um, yeah.
That would be the ultimate goal is like how they what they've done because um, they are the official hot sauce brand of their hockey team. I was
Yep.
like, that's so cool to be able to say like the official hot sauce of blah 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 so and so. But yeah, I actually reached out to the guys over at Stinky. They're real cool. I order their products a lot. I love their they have their one barbecue sauce
Oh, yes.
with the
Oh, yeah.
oranges in it.
It's so
I
good.
get that all the time. That one's good. But yeah, actually, I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like I know you guys are in with the local hockey team. I'm about to meet up with him. Any advice, suggestions?" So it's been cool to chat with them about it too, and they, give me their opinion. So
Yeah.
very grateful for it.
The Stanky brothers are super cool. They've been on the
Oh yeah,
podcast, and we had such a great time. Cutting up and just laughing, and obviously talking about the overall products that they have. But yeah, super kind guys, and
oh
very
yeah,
willing to help. And so can't go wrong with that. They
100%.
as one of the thing that we also mentioned last time that I wanted to touch on. Obviously, I haven't been quite so active in Cap Crew as of late. Finally, have some positive news on the stuff that was, going on beforehand with family health issues and so on. So hopefully, I'll be getting back, into the Cap Crew and burning and going wild. But
Oh yeah,
how has your
triple bottle dump, huh?
might have to come back and kick it off right. Uh, you know, ultimately, how has that been? Are you still actively, pushing through all kinds of wild and interesting challenges? I see you get tagged every so often with something, some obscure ingredient. So
Yeah, you know me. I like the shenanigans, but I haven't been too active recently because I'm just now kind of get back into the spice, but there for a while I was kind of holding off. I was having some stomach issues, so I was like, I need to slow down, and I just finally had my doctor's appointment. It took forever to finally get in and get seen. Took a few months, so but yeah, I'm slowly dipping my toes back in the water.
yeah,
But of course, I'm still in the background and causing shenanigans and back chats.
yep, yep. As always,
As always.
wouldn't be the mad scientist if you weren't. But no,
100%.
it's always fun to see some of these very interesting things that you get tagged in ingredient wise, and I always question. I'm like, I wonder if he's done this before. I wonder if he's had
Most
that
of them,
before.
I will say, most of them are my idea, of course. Like, oh, mix this with this with this. But some of these guys, man, they just go for it, and they're just like, you know what, Brandon, I want to do this for you. I'm gonna mix all these crazy things. I
Nope,
love it.
nope.
I love it.
That
It's all about the mentality, man. You gotta be strong.
there's some things that y'all suggest that I'm just like, that should just never exist in that same
Where you're like,
combination.
that's enough Facebook for one day.
Yep. And sometimes that'll be the first thing I see in the morning, and I'm like, well, maybe Facebook's not meant for me today.
100%.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how that goes down. But yeah, ultimately it does. It causes a lot of fun, and it's always very unique in the way that it's done
I
because
love the shenanigans, man. I
you're
love it.
never gonna find some of these combinations in
Oh
the
yeah,
in the wild, if you will. Um,
yeah.
this is
Hopefully not.
very calculated by the mad scientist. So,
I gotta
absolutely,
own up to it. Gotta own
yeah.
up to the name.
Well, you still do you still hold, this is a very prideful information right here, but do you still hold on to probably the highest count of Wonka tickets?
Probably. As far as I know, the only other person that has more golden tickets than me is Wonka himself,
Well,
as
yeah,
far as I'm aware.
that would
But
make sense.
if you're going to be more active in crew coming forward, keep your eyes peeled because there is something coming with those. There is something
Okay.
coming.
Okay. That's what I was about to ask is what
Yeah,
is going on with all of these? Are you just collecting them? You have a wall of like,
we
yes.
definitely have we have an idea. It's
Okay.
a little collaboration idea, but it'll be fun. It'll be shenanigans, of course, nonetheless. I mean,
Why, I would expect nothing else. But, some deep burns and some crazy shenanigans. So,
oh yeah.
all right. I'll look forward to that if that's for sure. The something I guess really the other thing that I was going to ask is like as you've been grinding and really growing the overall business, have you found there to be, I mean, other than just simply not enough hours in the day, have you found any kind of pain points or areas that you have been needing or wanting to try to grow in that have been a little bit more limiting to you?
Definitely, probably social media. Just my overall growth in my overall presence on my social medias. I got the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram, and right now it's just I don't really have content to continuously just keep pushing out, pushing out. So I think that's the biggest thing. And then when I do have stuff like these vendor events and stuff, I don't even think about it to I should have like recorded that or I could have got that person's reaction of them trying it for to upload. So definitely starting to dive more into the social media aspect because that's how you're gonna continue to grow and have your following. So I would say probably that aspect and just trying to find content to put out there and stay relevant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that's often a lot of people's overall initial and really uh, continuous pain point is just the idea of nurturing the online presence, fostering really
Exactly.
the exposure to have those online sales just naturally occur. Um, and there's
Exactly.
definitely some fun creative ways that I think you could easily drum up some content, some posts, not only just from what you would do, but then engagement to those that are familiar with your products and how they utilize them. So I
Yeah.
think it would be definitely fun as we get ready for Fourth of July and Ghostly Kiss is rolling out there. Hey, how are you using it? Share it with us, etc. I
Hmm.
think that would be pretty interesting to see, or hashtag Taco Tuesday or some of those people like I do every once in a while. Taco Thursday also because you
Yeah.
can never go wrong with tacos two times out
Never.
of the week.
Never.
There's plenty of different tacos out there. You could even eat tacos every day, dare I say.
I could. I could.
Yep. Yep. Oh my
Yeah, I
goodness.
definitely. I think that's been the main focus of mine right now, and the main shift is more thinking more of how can I grow with the social media because it's just like the vendor events, right? You go
Yep.
do a vendor event and you might get like two or three, a handful more followers, and you keep doing that, and you slowly just gain more followers. More people are aware of your products, what you have to offer. I think same thing with social media.
Yep.
Starting out, just putting content out there, getting the more followings. So I think that's going to be the biggest shift because right now I'm happy with the product lineup. We got of course we got Villain, we got Hero, we got Ghostly Kiss, and then probably sometime next month I'm hoping we'll be able to finally drop Sandwich Hero, and then shortly
Nice.
after that probably Sandwich Villain. That one will probably be another few months out. But as far as like the product lineup right now, um, we're pretty solid. I'm happy with it. I definitely have a couple more in the chamber that I could pull out when I need to, but I think right now the main shift is just going to be focusing the social media, getting content, just getting the following growing.
Yeah.
and
No, I
let
like
the
it.
products speak for themselves.
Yeah, and they're definitely doing that, so I can see that. But yeah, I definitely have some things that I can, gladly pass along as well
Oh yeah,
regarding that. So we'll definitely talk about that. But I'm curious. I don't think we've actually, I don't think we've actually gone down this path of conversation before. But what does Be Right like to do as far as leisure outside of burning?
well, I have ADHD. Let me start with that. So pretty much everything under the sun, dude. Like I don't know. I never go really 100% on anything except for, of course, the spice life I have. But I try out things here and there. So, well, one thing, Pokemon.
Okay.
Been looking for some cards, getting a little collection going. Have some PSA graded cards.
Nice.
Um, got a 3D printer, so I've just been doing crazy 3D print stuff like shelves, SCADAS boards.
Okay.
Um, I'm into firearms. Um, Even just looking around the room is like, what else am I into? What else do I have sitting around here? But yeah, I mean, pretty much, I'm one of those guys you could pretty much bring up any sort of topic or hobby or something. I've probably done it. And then
Yep.
recently too, I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, but I uploaded those photos that I did of the Cobra. There was a car I did,
Oh yeah.
but
No, I
I've
didn't.
been kind of getting into photography as well. So
Okay. All right. How has that been? Are you doing just strictly like photo shoots, or are you doing also video shoots, driving?
so right now I'm trying to do this. I can show you.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
ooh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, nice
Was that
Cobra.
was that a real or a replica?
What was that? Nah, I believe this one was a replica.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my
But yeah,
opinion, I like both. But if you're gonna be driving and beating on, you might as well have a
replica.
replica.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, keep the all numbers matching, very clean, pristine.
Uh,
Just that. Start it, drive it, enjoy it, but don't beat on it like you would, say, a replica.
exactly.
So
But yeah, my that one's my most recent is photography. I've been getting into. But
okay.
like I said, you name it, I've probably been there. Did sneakers for a while before I got into the spice life. I had a whole collection of Jordans that I would buy, sell, flip, clean up. Actually, one of my favorite things I used to do is I used to go to different pawn shops around town and even thrift stores. I'd find the old Jordans that were real beat up and crease marks. I would take the creases out, make them look brand new, resell them. So I've done everything.
Nice. I you know I've always liked sneakers. At one point I had what I thought for myself, which I later found out is not that extensive of a collection. I had what I thought was an extensive collection of different type of shoes and so on and so forth, and that was a big part of things. It would be like God, what was that? That was 2000, yeah, 2008, 2009. It was like those 2 years. Every 2 weeks, I'd go out and buy 1 to 2 new pairs of sneakers, and I would just had that routine. I get paid, and it was just like, all right, I'm gonna go to
Sneak.
straight to the mall once I get off, and I'm gonna go find two pairs that are calling me, and it was a lot of fun. I had some pretty cool shoes that I liked. One in particular I have not been able to find again, and there were some Nike Corehound tooth cloth shoes. They were like, I think they were technically skateboard shoes because I used to wear a lot of skateboard shoes, so that makes
Hmm.
sense. But
Like the SBs, the Dunks.
oh, I pretty much only wear now SBs these
Mm.
days. I have one pair of the Kill Shot 2s, and I bought the Kill Shot 2s because they look great online. Then I got them in person and they still look okay, but instant regret. I was like, I should have just bought another pair of SBs because I love the feel of the SBs. They're
Oh
great
yeah.
support, great comfort. They break in really quick without having any kind of like major creases or issues or anything. So no,
Oh yeah.
I'm all for it. I used to have a lot of different Air Forces. Back in the '08, really '05 through, I think I stopped getting Air Force Ones in like 2009 or so, 2010. And so I had all kinds of weird, fun color combos and this, that, and the other. So those
There's
things are
actually
like,
a few pairs I found online. They're not Nikes. They're kind of like these smaller off-brand, but they have these pretty cool looking shoes that have like a full pepper design on it. I'm like, ah man, I need to get those.
there you go. That's the ticket right there.
Combine them right there, combining them.
Yep. No,
But
I
yeah, and
like it.
then as far as the photography stuff, I don't know, just kind of been having fun shooting what I want. I kind of want to get into doing like cars and car videos. Actually, I kind of dabbled in doing like car videos. Like I'm pretty decent at doing the like edits and stuff for it. But that was back when I just had my phone to record on. So now that I'm actually having some gear, I'm like maybe I should try that up again. But like I said, with the hot sauce and the work, it's like
Yeah.
if I can when I can. If it I'm not gonna plan it out. If it happens, it'll happen.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Very, very much I can relate and appreciate. Which apparently just was recently informed that it's not just called ADD anymore. Everything is technically labeled ADHD. But I
Really?
am much more of the variety of the non hyperactive aspects. So I too end up having a lot of passions and drives towards things, but the only stuff that's ever really stuck and 100%, if you will, is yes, definitely the spicy life, cars in general. And then the only thing that's prohibiting and limiting me on the cars aspect is, well, that's a very expensive hobby to be involved in.
It
And
is. It is
definitely when
hundred
you
percent.
see it and you start wanting to customize and do it, just it's it's not the smart move for
Easy to
a
fall
young
down the
family.
rabbit hole.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Yeah, because before I don't think I mentioned this before. When can't even think straight. Out of high school, went to college for trade school actually for automotive.
Oh,
So that's what
nice.
I did. And I worked on cars for a while. So I that was my my one first true love passion, if you will, was cars, and then kind of got out of it.
Yeah.
Having a kid and the wife and stuff. Everybody usually has their project cars, but I got too much going on. And like you said, it's really expensive hobby. But yeah, I've been down there. I had my old car and fully had to tear it apart down to the block, fully rebuilt it, upgraded parts along the way. It's
Yep.
expensive. Then all in that just to end up trading it for a family car.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. It's and definitely 100% whenever you have ADD, it
Oh yeah,
ultimately comes down to it. Once you're there, you're like, well, I'm already this involved in the project, so while I'm here, I might as well buy that part and that part and that part. And while I'm
yep.
here, let me just change this to this year
Yeah.
model's trim instead of the model that it's supposed to. And so then you're like, you went in to change out spark plugs, and the next thing you know, you got new heads, headers and
Yeah.
full exhaust, and you're like, I don't know how I got here, but
Yeah. I don't know how I got here, but I ain't complaining.
yep, yep,
Now, I've definitely cars will always be like part of me. I've always loved cars, but just for right now, I can't really don't really have the time, money, means to be working on it or having a fun little project car. But definitely see myself in the future, getting back into it eventually because like I said, like that's why I kind of like this photography thing too, because now it's kind of getting me back into like the car thing. But as far as working on upgrading stuff, I'm like, I do
Yep.
little stuff. I do tasteful mods nowadays. That's what I call it. Like my truck, I just do like upgraded headlights, some tail lights, maybe a sound system. I'm like, good.
Yep. There's a rather well, I say bougie track, but it's not that bougie. I've been out there a few times, but the members, it's kind of like how golf clubs or golf courses have the why am I blinking on the thing, the club aspect.
Golf
Uh,
cart.
no, the oh my gosh, why am I blanking on it? Anyways, so like golf courses have like their private clubs, right? So some
Oh,
courses are
like the
just,
country clubs
yeah,
or
country clubs. There we go. So this is
yeah.
basically like the car track version of a country club. So, some people go out and they golf, they have this country club mentality at this track. And so there's like all these nice bays, and you can buy or rent a bay, or you can even just like temporarily store your car there and pay and all this other stuff. It's beautiful overlook, nice overall, very well kept track, and a lot of fun to go on. But yeah, it's one of those things, kind of like you were saying. It's a way to get your foot in and enjoy it
Just to
without actually
be like
having the
close by it,
commitment.
but not like fully
Yes.
invested. Take my wallet.
Yep. Yep. And so I'm like, one of these days I'm thinking, because they have track cars that are out there that you can rent for like an hour or 2 hours, a few passes, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, one of these times I might just have to take them up on that, because I miss the idea of being out there on the track and hearing that engine roar, or
Hmm.
locking those brakes, having all the fun. It's a whole experience. A lot of people that are not car people will never understand that, but it's
Yeah.
fine. There's a lot of things that I won't, understand and appreciate that I'm sure they would. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Well, same
absolutely.
thing. Just trickling off of that, going into motorcycles too. I was into motorcycles for a while. Went through like four or five real quick. Did some like trades, buy, sell, flip.
Yep. That's I have never been much of a fan for motorcycles. I do like some older motorcycles for the aesthetics, but I'm
Mm.
not. I've just, I don't know. A lot of my friends have been like die hard. They'll ride motorcycles. For me, I'm like, nah. It's gotta have four wheels. I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to sit on it if it's like only got two. I think it all stems back from growing up. I was always joining everyone doing like BMX crazy stuff possible, as possible. But I was always the person that managed to hurt themselves the worst.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
because you get confident with it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
You're like,
I would go full send. I would try to get too
yeah.
cocky, and then yeah, I would hurt myself. So I
No,
was
that
like,
that happened to me actually. The first time I went on a jet ski, got too cocky on it. So we'd be going, my buddy he was showing me, so we'd be going, and then you kind of turn the wheel and it kind of whips you and you can kind
yep.
of kick up a little high. So I did that a couple times at like, medium speeds, and I'm like, oh, I got this. Got too cocky. I was going like full speed as fast as I could, and I turned it and it just flung me right off of it and I went flying.
Man, nope. Yeah, I have not done jet skiing yet. I've ridden passenger on one before, but I've never actually driven my own jet ski. And yeah, I can only imagine I'd
Yeah,
probably be doing the same
maybe
thing.
that's for the best.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like those videos that you see circulating around where yeah, I feel like you're seeing more of these lately. I don't know if it's just like an uptick in it or more people are filming these days while they're doing this. Where you'll see like the person has someone in tow, whether they're water skiing, whether they're in one of the inflatable rafts, towed behind, whatever. And then the person's like, "Oh, you want a drink?" And then they go try to get them a drink, and then they fall out of the boat, And then now the
Yeah,
boat's just going with no one there to stop it. And you're just like, you cut the clip off before the best part happened. So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you
I
know that
I've
that
seen
boat's
those.
pretty destroyed. You might as well show that part and get the most
Yeah,
views out of it because that's what everyone
right.
wants to know is like, well, what happened to the boat?
Well, where's the boat now?
Hey,
Like
maybe
in
they.
Step Brothers.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's like obviously they were able to get the footage, so the boat didn't sink to the bottom of the lake or anything. So,
Yeah,
uh,
who knows?
who
One
knows?
of those mysteries.
Yeah, they're obviously not too embarrassed to not post it because they still posted them falling out,
Yeah,
but they didn't want to share with everyone at which the state of the boat was at. You know, almost
it's like,
makes you
come on,
question
man.
maybe there's somebody that's actually holding the
Yeah,
camera and then
was
they
this
just turned it
scripted?
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, was this all is this all for views? Oh
is
man.
this all a ploy? I don't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they got us good. I think that's it. I think there's somebody holding that camera now. Now that we're talking this through, I think we've come to this here conclusion. There's
I
someone
think
else on
so.
that boat.
There has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Surely they're not that reckless.
Oh
Oh
man.
man. Well, all right. Well, all right. Definitely, there's been still so much more that we can dive into off topic, but wanted to make sure as far as things and places, products. I mean, you've already mentioned, Sandwich Hero coming soon, so everyone can stay tuned for that when it gets ready to drop. Sandwich Hero is amazing, by the way. If you don't know anything
Thank
about Sandwich Hero, it's on the channel on Scorchin' and Swearin'. I have the breakdown of the original version of it. So you can check that one out to kind of get a good gauge of what to expect. Looking forward to Sandwich Villain because Taco Villain was a home run. I can only imagine Sandwich Villain's going to be just as amazing. So, as far as that, I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to kind of touch on or let those know that are watching and listening?
I do have another one that's hopefully going to be right after Sandwich Hero, shortly after, I should say. Not right after, but it's another one that's one of those ones that I created, and it was a solid recipe. Didn't really have to do much tweaks. It's going to be a kind of wing forward, chicken wing forward. It's going to be a mango habanero.
Okay.
But this one, I don't know. It's a lot different than a lot of the other mango habaneros I've tried. So really curious. I've gotten some really good feedback, especially from my family. Even the ones that aren't crazy on spice, they still love it, and the ones that do love spice love it too. So it's kind of the perfect in between right now. I think that's going to be. We talked about it last time I was on about having the hero, the villain, and then something kind of in the middle that I would call like the boss series or the boss lineup. This will
Okay.
probably be the first one of that. I think it'll be probably like Mango Boss if I had to guess. But
All right.
yeah, keep an eye on that one in the future. That should be coming too.
Mango Boss. I like it. I like the name.
Mango Boss.
Looking
And it's
forward
going
to
to
that
be
one.
right in between the hero and villain, so it'll be the medium heat level.
Hey, medium heat products are always that level of dangerously snackable because they're
Yeah.
just bridging it to where those that have they're just starting out, there it's pushing them, but it's enjoyable. And for those that have their really high tolerance, it's one of those levels that it's just enough to scratch the itch and make you want to keep coming back. So I can
Yep.
see that being a very nice setup for a nice wing sauce as well. So looking forward to
Definitely.
that. But no, I once again absolutely having a blast having you on here, and just being able to catch up as well, and kind of get to hang out and hey, I didn't even know that you were doing the car thing. That was a mind blower for me So
Yeah.
super cool to see that. I'm gonna be dialed in watching to see as more car photos
Oh
or
yeah.
videos potentially roll out.
I'll have it.
So
It's I'm calling it flame and frame
oh,
photography.
nice.
That's
Okay.
that's my name.
All right. All right. Flame and
Flame and
frame.
frame.
I
We got to
like it.
get you your Mustang back, bro.
Oh man, I'm still so sad about that. Every
You know
single
what?
day, every day.
You know what? Something better's coming though. Something better's coming.
Yeah, I got my eyes on a few things, but once again, it's like timing is going to be more
Yep.
crucial than anything. This time, I'm not going to just jump into. I'm going to very much like the very first time with the Mustang. I took probably about a year and a half of just looking through different Mustangs before I finally
Mhm.
bought that one. And so I'll be doing the same thing, making sure I step into the right project and then, have clear, defined expectations in my head of where I want it to go before I
Yep.
just decide to start it. So, yeah,
That's the best way to do it.
absolutely.
And when you're ready and when you get it all done, I'll snap some photos for you.
There we go. There we go. I like it. Well, absolutely had a blast. I will have the direct links for all your stuff down below, but for those that are just audio listening only, where can they find you and what's the best way to keep up with Chico Blanco hot sauce?
I'd say probably most active is Instagram and Facebook. Probably Facebook is where I update and do the most. So just do a search on Facebook, Chico Blanco Hot Sauce. You can find me. Or even if you just do a Google search, I think it'll pop up with the Instagram and I think my website as well.
Absolutely.
That's the best way.
Well, thank you again so much for coming on. Definitely will have you back and we'll be running through this. I know I mentioned it last time, but we got to get at least one or two others to join us for some maybe
Oh,
a
yeah.
crazy shenanigans show. And
Oh,
so
100%.
I think that would be a lot of
100%.
fun.
I already know who I want to see on the podcast as well.
Okay. Well, who would you like to nominate?
Oh, is it nomination time? Hot
It
seat
is.
time?
It is.
It's my friend. I believe you are aware of him. I don't know if you've tried his products. Maybe you have. My good friend Marco. Have you
Okay.
had any of his products? I believe so. Yeah, you've had his Smoking Embers, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was about to say the smoking embers.
Right there,
That
buddy.
sauce is so tasty as well.
From Marco over at Make It Happen Hot Sauce. His Smoking Embers, dude. I have, if I pan over here, I literally have 10 bottles over here of it.
Let's see if we can.
That one, his Smoking Embers is such a delicious sauce, man.
Let's
I've
see if
been
I can.
putting this stuff. My favorite pairing with it is on steaks right now, but it goes so well with everything. The other day, my mom made some pesto at home, and I threw about like half a bottle of this in there, give it some heat and some extra flavor. It's a great sauce, and he also has his raspberry riot.
Oh
But
yes.
I would definitely love to nominate him because he's a little guy like me. He's just starting out. He's starting to grow a following, and he's starting to make some moves in the background. So
I like
I
it.
think he'd be a great guy to talk to before he starts expanding even more. And word on the street is he's trying to hopefully move to Texas soon as well to help
Oh,
grow his brand, and that's just where he wants to be. So he'll be closer to you.
I like it. Well, Marco, we'll be lining up a time to have you on. Thank you again for that nomination. Absolutely love the Smoke and Embers. So I know Raspberry Riot was something that was in the works around the time that I had first tried Smoke and Embers. So I have heard nothing but amazing things about that one as well. Definitely look forward to checking that one out here soon. But no,
Definitely, definitely. He's one of those producers that's definitely flavor forward. You can tell in his products. Nothing but love and nothing but positive feedback from all the stuff I've tried from Make It Happen Hot Sauce.
well,
He's gonna make it happen.
I believe in it, and I definitely look forward to having him on and learning more about Make It Happen hot sauce. I think that's a great nomination. Thank you so much for that. Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure having you on. If you want to keep up with Chico Blanco Hot Sauce, I will have the direct links down below for all the socials, as well as a link to the main site, so you can check out the full lineup of products. And make sure you keep your eyes peeled for as Sandwich Hero and Sandwich Villain drop, and all the other great products that will be rolling out soon from Chico Blanco. I will have the direct links as well down below for Ghostly Kiss, so you can grab yourself some Ghostly Kiss. That is a great pairing for your grilling, your barbecuing, and everything in between. So head on over there and check out Ghostly Kiss. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone that has been sharing around the podcast. Thank you so much for making this show what it is. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of hot, because this is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. And don't forget, new episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. And quick shout out for our sponsors, podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road and you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. If you have an online site, maybe you had somebody at one point, maybe you didn't ever get around to building one, highly recommend checking out webdx.one. They make it simple, painless, and get you looking great. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.